Close your eyes and picture a landscape so surreal, it feels like another planet. From the fog-drenched peaks of Tianzhu Mountain to the crystal-clear sacred waters of Lake Basongkuo in Tibet, we are about to embark on an epic exploration of China's most hidden wonders. This isn't just a travel guide, it's an immersive experience into the wild beauty of Baishishan's cliffs and the adrenaline-pumping trails of Mount Hua. We'll witness the raw power of the earth in Tengchong's volcanic springs and find peace in the ancestral halls of Huishan. Each location tells a story of resilience, spirituality, and natural mastery. These are the places where legends were born and where history is still written in the wind and stone. If you love exploring the extraordinary, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to join our community. Let's get the journey started. The enigma of Lushan. Picture a colossal mirror, so flawless it seems polished by the hands of gods, resting deep within the heart of China. Lushan's West Sea is not a saltwater ocean, but a realm of crystal-clear waters tucked away to the west of the towering Lushan mountain range. Nature here remains untouched. It is a place where the silence screams. When you gaze upon the lake, the deep blue of the sky and the silhouettes of the mountains blend in a way that your eyes struggle to believe. The peace is so profound, you can hear the hum of your own thoughts. The air is crisp throughout the entire year, like a cold embrace. Walking through these forests feels like stepping back in time. Life seethes in every leaf and every creature hiding in the shadows. But Lushan guards secrets that go far beyond the trees. Ancient scholars and monks fled to this sanctuary seeking something that money cannot buy. Great dynasties left their marks through events that shifted the very course of history. The secret here is connection. Man and nature become one in a pact of silence that has lasted for millennia. It is a return to the beginning of all things. True peace lives in absolute silence. The preservation of this ecosystem reflects the wisdom of those who value life above progress. The Sanctuary of Baishishan. Now, climb with me to the Gansu province, where the earth touches the clouds. Mount Baishishan is a labyrinth of stone that defies gravity. Its peaks soar more than 2,500 meters high. The land looks as if it has been torn apart. The limestone cliffs are so steep they resemble knives pointed at the sky, creating deep canyons where sunlight barely manages to flicker. But the true mystery is etched into the walls. Artisans from centuries ago dangled over the abyss to paint Buddhist murals that withstand the wind and the rain. These religious images seem to watch those who pass by. Every stroke tells a story of devotion and faith that time could not erase. It is the perfect fusion of human talent and nature's fury. To the local people, Baishishan is more than just rock and sand. It is a sacred ground. Thousands of pilgrims trek through these grueling trails in search of spiritual freedom. They believe that by touching these rocks, they draw closer to the divine. It is a spectacle of resilience and spirituality that has survived for hundreds of years. Faith carved in stone is eternal. To respect the sacred is to understand the force that moves generations through centuries of living history. Tianzhu Mountain. In the heart of Anhui Province, there stands a stone giant that seems to hold up the firmament itself. Tianzhu Mountain is a monument to grandeur. Its granite needles pierce the clouds like spears, creating valleys so deep the sun seems to hesitate before entering. When the mist descends upon the peaks, the world transforms into a ghostly landscape. Mystery floats in the humid air. Waterfalls plunge from dizzying heights, exploding into streams so clear you can see the very soul of the mountain. It is a paradise for those seeking to test their limits on the trails. But do not be fooled. Tianzhu is not just a physical challenge, it is a living sanctuary. Ancient temples sprout from the rocks as if they were part of the local geology. There, the scent of incense mingles with the smell of dense forests. Locals perform millenary rituals for the mountain gods, keeping alive a spiritual flame that modernity could not extinguish. It is a portal between the earth and the divine. Untouched nature is our greatest temple. Respecting ancient traditions ensures that the wisdom of our ancestors continues to guide our steps. The secret of the Huishan halls. Imagine walking through a village where time decided to take a nap. In Wuxi, within the Jiangsu province, Huishan village guards a treasure of wood and memory. The ancestral hall is not just an old building, it is the beating heart of hundreds of families. Its curved roof tiles and handcrafted carvings tell stories of nobles who lived in the 14th century during the Ming Dynasty. Every detail carved into the wood is a code from the past. Inside these halls, statues and artworks observe the visitor with a millenary gaze. The architecture is so breathtaking it looks like a painting come to life. To be there is to understand the weight of the word lineage. The hall was built by a powerful family who wanted to ensure their names would never be forgotten by the wind. Surrounded by mountains and close to the ancient city, the place creates a perfect harmony between what man builds and what the earth provides. It is a tribute to the resilience of a people who refuse to let go of their roots. Family is the foundation of everything. Honoring those who came before us is the only way to build a future with true foundations. Dancing with the abyss at Mount Hua. There is a place where every step could be your last, and that is exactly what draws the brave. Mount Hua in China is not just a mountain. It is a colossal challenge rising 2,160 meters toward the infinite. Imagine walking on creaking wooden planks nailed directly into the face of a vertical cliff. Here, fear and adrenaline course through your veins together. There are trails so narrow, only a few centimeters wide, that you must hug the rock and trust blindly in the icy iron chains. These stone steps were hand-carved hundreds of years ago, holding the sweat of ancient masters. But between the extreme danger and the sharp cliffs, there exists a sacred silence. Monks chose these isolated peaks to meditate, seeking heaven amidst the eternal fog. It is a cinematic landscape where naked rock meets the absolute void. Life is a constant breath. Overcoming your own fear at the top of the world shows us how small and, at the same time, how giant we are. The Lament of the Devil City. In the middle of a vast and lifeless desert, a stone mirage emerges that looks like something out of a nightmare or another planet. The Devil City is a labyrinth of rock formations sculpted by the fury of wind and rain over millions of years. They are giant sandcastles, pillars that defy the sky, and shapes that resemble sleeping beasts, all dozens of meters high. When the sun sets, the earth catches fire in shades of orange and vivid red, creating a beauty that hurts the eyes. But the true terror begins when the wind blows hard. The air passes through the crevices of the rocks, creating howls and sharp whistles, as if the earth itself were weeping. Legend says that a very wealthy city once existed there, which was punished by the gods because of greed. In the blink of an eye, everything turned to stone. The people believe that the screams heard on windy nights are the souls trapped forever in this desert of solitude. It is a place that fascinates and frightens in equal measure. Nature punishes human pride. The sound of the wind among the stones is an eternal reminder that nothing in this world is permanent. The sleeping giant of Lushan. Deep within the Sichuan province, an entire mountain gained a face and a soul to watch over the waters. The giant Buddha of Baishishan is not just a statue. It is the largest stone sculpture in the world. Carved directly into the face of a cliff. He stands 71 meters tall, a scale that makes any human being look like an ant. His shoulders are 28 meters wide, and his feet alone measure 11 meters long. The construction of this marvel began in the year 713 during the Tang dynasty and took nearly a century to complete. The ancients did not carve him just for art. They wanted to calm the turbulent waters of 3 rivers that meet there and used to cause terrible shipwrecks. Inside the stone, there is an ingenious hidden drainage system that expels rainwater, protecting the Buddha from damage for hundreds of years. Surrounded by a green that seems to glow, he watches the horizon with a gaze of eternal serenity. Ancient engineering surpasses the modern. Preserving this heritage is ensuring that the effort of past generations continues to inspire the future. The Canals of Memory in Nanshun. There is a city in Zhejiang province that refuses to enter the 21st century. Nanshun is a labyrinth of peaceful canals where the reflection of ancient houses in the water tells stories of a forgotten China. Arched stone bridges cross rivers that meander through paths covered in moss and walls that guard the secrets of rich and powerful families. The atmosphere is one of pure nostalgia, as if every red tile were impregnated with the memories of those who lived there hundreds of years ago. But Nanshun is not just a pretty face for photos. Local legends say the city was a powerful spiritual center where solemn rituals were performed to appease the water spirits and honor the earth gods. The temples hidden among the alleys are sacred sites where the population still seeks protection and peace today. It is a place where architecture and nature have made a pact of absolute harmony. History flows like water. The true value of a people lies in the way they care for their roots and their memory. The sacred cauldron of Tengchong. Imagine a place where the earth breathes fire and the ground beneath your feet is alive. In Yunnan province, the Tengchong volcanic thermal springs area is a geological spectacle that looks like it came out of a science fiction movie. There are more than 80 natural springs where water gushes from the earth at temperatures reaching 96 degrees Celsius. It is a true hot sea that releases clouds of steam, creating an enigmatic and almost supernatural atmosphere. There is a famous pool called the Big Boiling Pot, where the water bubbles with such force that visitors often boil eggs directly on the ground. It is nature cooking live, but beyond the heat of the waters, there is human warmth. This region is home to ancient peoples like the Hui and the Dai. Who guard traditions that time did not dare to erase. Participating in the Torch Festival is like entering a portal to the past. The earth gives us life. Respect for the fire that comes from the soil is what keeps these cultures protected. The sacred mirror of Basong Kuo. Climbing the invisible staircases of Tibet at 3,500 meters of altitude, we find a liquid jewel called Lake Basong Kuo. It stretches for 12 kilometers in length, surrounded by ice giants that touch the sky and forests that seem to guard millenary secrets. The water is so deep, reaching 60 meters, that its blue blends with the green of the surrounding woods. The reflection of the snowy mountains on the lake's surface creates an optical illusion that confuses what is land and what is sky. At the center of this scenery, the Kwozong Gongba Temple stands as a silent guardian of the Tibetan faith. On the 15th day of the 4th month, the silence is broken by thousands of pilgrims who bring prayers and chants that echo through the valleys. It is a moment where time stops and the connection with the divine becomes palpable. Heaven is right there. Preserving the purity of these waters is keeping alive the soul of a people who live close to the stars. The whispers of Langya. In the city of Chuzhou, within the Anhui province, rises a natural monument that seems to have been designed by poets. The Langya Scenic Area is a realm of limestone mountains that challenge the horizon, where Langya Peak reigns supreme at about 1,100 meters high. Imagine walking through forests so dense that sunlight must ask permission to enter. The dominant sound is that of waterfalls plunging from the rocks, feeding Lake Shenshu with waters that seem to purify the soul. But Langya is not just rock and brush. It is a sanctuary of the human mind. The Zuiwang Pavilion and the Langya Temple are not just buildings. They are records of a time when China's greatest thinkers sought out mystical caves to find inspiration. Every crystalline spring that gushes from the ground carries the echo of verses written centuries ago. It is a perfect blend, where the hand of man merely shaped what nature already held as sacred. Art imitates life. Valuing culture is what sets us apart from machines that only process data without feeling anything. The path in the clouds of Aizhai. Catch your breath to visit the Hunan province, where human engineering decided to play God. The Aizhai Bridge is a colossal structure that floats 350 meters high over the abyss, measuring 1,176 meters in length. Crossing this bridge is like walking on a strand of hair stretched between giant mountains. Far below, the Dehong Grand Canyon opens like a green wound in the earth, stretching for 2 kilometers of pure verticality. In the heart of this gorge, the silk-weaving waterfall plunges from a height of 216 meters, looking like an infinite white veil. But the true mystery lives in Shibong village. The Miao people live in houses on stilts and keep alive legends that make your skin crawl. They say that a pair of lovers, forbidden from being together, transformed into 2 eternal stones that still watch over the valley. It is a place where bridge technology crosses with the magic of ancient tribes. Love conquers time. The courage to build over the void is what defines the unstoppable strength of our species. The Iron Fist of Mount Song, in the heart of Henan Province. The earth rises with a force that commands immediate respect. Mount Song is not just one of the 5 sacred mountains of China. It is the skeleton of a history of power and discipline. Imagine imposing peaks that tear through the clouds, surrounded by pine forests that whisper ancient secrets with every breath of the wind. But the true mystery pulses in the Shaolin Monastery, founded in the year 495. This is not just a temple of prayer. It is the birthplace of Kung Fu. It was here that monks transformed the observation of nature into beautiful and deadly combat movements. The fresh mountain air has carried the sound of impacts and focused breathing for more than 1,500 years. The monastery was strategically built on the slopes so that spirituality and physical vigor would become one. It is a place where patience is a weapon and courage is the shield. The body is the reflection of the mind. True strength is born from the balance between a serene spirit and relentless action. the literary ghosts of Qingzhou. Travel now to the Shandong province, where the ancient city of Qingzhou rests like an open book covered in golden dust. This place was the center of political and cultural power for centuries, and you feel it as you step onto its stone streets worn by time. The traditional houses and old temples create a labyrinth where the past refuses to die. But the secret of Qingzhou is hidden in the Tuoshan and Yunnanshan mountains, which guard Buddhist sculptures carved directly into the rock, watching over the city like eternal sentinels. The Zhenjiao Temple, built during the Yuan dynasty, is a portal to an era of emperors and conquests. Legend has it that this fertile soil gave birth to literary geniuses like Li Qingzhao and Ouyang Xu. Walking through these gardens is like hearing the echoes of poetry written 1,000 years ago. Floating between the stone walls, the written word survives time. Knowledge is the only heritage that moths and rust cannot destroy. The Forgotten Walls of Jagannath. Imagine that the earth itself decided to build an impenetrable fortress on the edge of the Tibetan plateau. Jagannath is not just a mountain. It is a limestone labyrinth where colossal stone walls rise like sentinels of a prehistoric world. Some peaks pierce the clouds at more than 4,000 meters high, guarding valleys so deep that the sun seems to ask permission to enter. The rock shapes are bizarre and terrifying, resembling the teeth of giant beasts or towers of castles that were abandoned even before humans existed. When the day breaks, the light passes through the mist and makes the mountain glow as if it were catching fire in tones of gold and orange. This is the effect of the shining mountain. The silence here is deceptive as the echo travels between the cliffs, making you believe the stones are whispering secrets in your ear. A German scientist once called this place the most perfect stone city in all of Asia. For those who live there, every inch of this land is sacred and inhabited by ancient spirits who watch over the steps of travelers. Nature carves what man could never dream of. Respect for the unknown is what keeps us alive in the face of immensity. The breath of fire in Tengchong. Close your eyes and try to feel the ground vibrating beneath your feet, as if a giant were breathing right below you. In Yunnan province, in Tengchong, nature decided to show who is truly in charge. This cinematic setting is home to more than 90 volcanoes that, although they seem to be sleeping, keep the Earth's blood boiling in 80 thermal springs. Steam rises from all sides, creating a mysterious fog that smells of sulfur and adventure. The grand spectacle is the Sea of Heat, a natural pool where the water reaches 96 degrees Celsius. It is so hot that the sound of steam escaping from the cracks sounds like the engine of a giant airplane ready to fly. Scientific studies show that this water is loaded with rare minerals, but locals prefer to believe they are the tears of giants with healing powers. It is common to see people cooking eggs and peanuts in straw baskets dipped directly into the earth's steam. The colors of the stones change from bright yellow to blood red, creating a wild and dangerous painting. The heart of our planet beats loud and hot here. The strength of the earth is a reminder of our own fragility. Coexisting with the power of volcanoes requires wisdom and great humility. Which of these locations do you think holds the most mystery? Make sure to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the journey. Keep watching our latest content for more adventures, and we'll see you in the next one.